everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this segment of Chamber Chat. I'm the hostess of the show, Lauren Grimmick, and I'm the Executive Director of the Melrose Chamber of Commerce. And on this segment, I'm really happy to have what I feel is one of our incredible assets of our community. I've got two physicians here from Melrose Wakefield Healthcare tonight. I've got Dr. Dan Witkowski and Dr. Jennifer Wu, both of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and I'm really happy to have you guys here. So,
it's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
We're very excited.
Thank you for taking a step out of your physician's clothing and just kind of talking with me for a little bit. Dr. Wachowski, I'll start with you, and why don't you just give our viewers sort of like a general history of the sort of labor and delivery department and services at Melrose Wakefield Hospital.
Sure. I'm Dan Witkowski, and I'm the chairman at the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. And I'm very proud of the legacy at Melrose Wakefield. I think the hospital, since it's been there in 1893, has had labor and delivery services all throughout. Incredible. Back in the very beginning of time. So there's a lot of legacy.
Sure.
And it was just about 58 years ago to the date that Dr. George Bissell delivered my wife Pamela at Melrose Wakefield Hospital.
That's crazy.
So
this was not planned, folks. This was not planned.
So there is a lot of legacy and a lot of warm feelings I have towards that hospital.
Sure. It's great for you to then be working there with that connection.
In that department too, with that connection. You're right. So that kind of legacy then got passed on to so many other great doctors, like Dr. Vinci, Dr. Lazick, Dr. Logan, who was the past chairman just before me. But I think it really was Dr. Morelli that changed the course of obstetrics in this hospital and really brought it to a new level.
Right.
And then when he retired, my former partner, Dr. Brian O'Connor, and myself carried on that legacy and continued with our commitment towards great OBGYN care. And since that time, when I became the chairman of the department, that's really my goal, is to continue that great care, commitment toward that great care.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I mean, you've definitely have your hands full with that legacy and carrying it on, but it sounds like, you guys you're already doing that. And I mean, I know besides yourselves, you've named a couple of well-known physicians that people know in the community, but Dr. Wu, tell me a little bit about who else is there with you. If I'm a patient, who can I expect to meet, within your department?
We have a lot of great doctors, and Dr. Witkowski and me, and there's Dr. Munzer, there's Dr. Epstein, and there's Dr. Blackstock and Dr. Richmond. And also with two new associates come in, very qualified, very competent, Dr. Cho and then Dr. Lee.
Right.
One of the things that just happened is we all, Dr. Dakianis too, we all joined together as part of a community care system. And I really think too, it really shows how we work as a team in our department. So although if someone comes in and has their baby, they might not see the doctor that's followed them throughout their whole pregnancy, for instance, but they still know they're getting a member of the team. We all follow very similar protocols. In our meetings every single month, we discuss the high-risk patients or any problems that might come up for the next month of patients that are going to deliver. So we all kind of stay on the same page. So although you might not see the face you've been seeing for your whole pregnancy, you still get that feeling that the care is going to be really outstanding.
Right. And so like you said, you've got that team atmosphere, and sort of all of your patients then have that reassurance that when they come in the doors, when the time is right, they're going to get that level of service that they
I think that makes a big difference, and I think that's what we've really brought to the hospital now.
We also have very great nurses. They took
nurse practitioners.
And they take pride to take good care of patients. So we have a very great team, and it's a great hospital, and we're all very happy to work in the same hospital.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I think there's a lot, you've touched upon some of these incredible physicians that are there, and the type of care and the level of care that you're giving patients. I mean, you have I was doing a little bit of back-end research. I mean, there's a lot to be proud of. I know, in this day and age, what's really important is, having like a low rate of C-sections, right? So that's something that you guys can be, proud about and talk a little bit about.
It was a few years ago that unfortunately we found ourselves on the high end of the scale when we looked at when we compared ourselves to other hospitals in the state, and we took it upon ourselves to really dig deep and really try to understand why that happened.
Sure.
So we formed task
force. That's not easy, I can imagine. Right.
And then talk to each other frankly and say, you know what, these are the protocols we need to follow. We all need to get on the same page, and we turned it around, and now we have one of the lowest C-sections in the whole state.
That's incredible.
Come, 180 degrees the other way.
Sure.
So
yeah.
we're all very proud of that.
Yeah, I imagine it would be. I mean, I think, not a newish mother, but, I've got young children at home, and I know that those were things that, if you think of patients as like your clients, right, those were things that people were starting to talk about, and when they're comparing, right, people now, we're lucky, right, in this sort of area of the country, we can choose, a lot of us, where we want to, have our families and take care. And so I think that's incredible for you guys. Yes. And you're not just doing it's not just patient care. I mean, you're doing a lot within the community, right? There's several programs, Dr. Wu, that happen post-delivery for young families. So why don't you talk a little bit about what's some of those awesome programs?
We have, basically we are baby-friendly hospital. We promote breastfeeding.
Yep.
We also have safe sleep programs where all the baby delivered in Melrosefield Hospital will giving a safe sleep bag, sack, so they will be, the nurse will be helping them to take care of that. We have breast
the lactation specialist.
Right. And then, after they finish Melrosefield Hospital, they have baby cafe, the breastfeeding cafe. So they will continue breastfeeding. So
there's a lot of different services, right? It's not like, okay, we've had the baby, deliver, my job's done, right? You're continuing to take care of that patient and that newborn, right? And that
it goes way beyond just the physician care.
Right.
At Melrose-Wakefield Hospital, all the community support, all the community services that the leaders there in that hospital feel so greatly about, because it just doesn't stop in the hospital.
Right.
And the lactation specialists are even always available after you have your baby. So if you have problems at home, not only do you have the baby cafe where nursing moms go, but you have lactation specialists that will take calls over the phone. You can come in for appointments, and that's part of that whole baby-friendly atmosphere.
Right.
We really promote, us encouraging moms to give the babies the best they can.
Yeah, and I think, again, sort of speaking from experience, a few years ago, I mean, sometimes as a new parent, as a new mother, right, it can kind of feel isolating sometimes once you leave the hospital. So now you're able to say, doesn't end here, we're here for you, and here's, several programs that will continue, and you guys should be proud of those.
Right. So if the mother doesn't feel like they want to breastfeed, we also, the nurse has a great a way of teaching them how to safely bottle feeding the babies.
That's great. So you're giving people options too based on,
right?
You're not sort of telling them what to do. You're saying, here's the information and this is how we can support you. You make the choice and we're there for you, which is incredible.
That's correct. We have wonderful nurses.
The nurses are great.
Great. I think they made a great team for the hospital.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. Right, and it's part of that teamwork that you talked about at the beginning, so it doesn't, it extends past, the physicians and the physicians group.
Right.
So then tell me a little bit about being part of Tufts Medical Center Community Care. You kind of started to touch on that a little bit.
So that affiliation with Tufts Medical Center
Yeah, what does that
so
mean for
important.
us out there?
It means we really have that connection if that connection is needed. We can provide great care right here in the community.
Sure.
So you do have the convenience. Parking is easy. We're right here in your backyard.
Right.
But if your obstetrical problems are really at that high level where you really need a high-risk OB doctor, we have one that comes to see us every single week.
That's great.
Rounds with us all the time, is readily available by text or even by phone call if we need to talk to her, or if we need a consult. And if a patient has to go to Tufts Medical Center, there is somebody we can directly send her to. So that connection gives us that ability to provide good care here, but also have that tertiary center for that real high-risk care when needed.
Right, so
that
that's a strong
comfort,
partnership
very, very
for
strong.
you to
So
have for
we
some of your
really bring the
patients.
high-risk patient,
Yeah.
stay in Melrosefield Hospital, continue their care. I mean, if they need to be transferred or continue care at Tufts Medical Center, we'll be able to do that directly. So it's very easy, accessible for a lot of patients who really doesn't want to go in town and then like to spend their quality time in the community hospital setting.
It allows you to do that.
That's correct.
And if it means a premature delivery, we have a special care nursery. And even if we might need beyond that for the delivery and the first, the beginning of life for that baby, they always can come back to the special care nursery again and make it more convenient and easier for the new family to deal with a baby in the hospital.
That's great.
So that makes it really
good. That is nice.
So.
And it's reassuring someone from the beginning, because sometimes, right, you don't know how your pregnancy is going to go, or you don't know how, it's a long, it's a long time to go through it, right? And so to be able to reassure someone to say, you know what, if something happens, we've got you, right? We've got you covered. So that's a great strong partnership. So let's take it down, like maybe to just a personal level. I mean, why, you've been, with the hospital for a long time. Like why?
26 years
right?
now.
So I mean, like we said, living in the Metro Boston area, we are so lucky to have so many great, medical institutions, hospitals here. So why this
Melrose?
hospital? Yeah, why? I mean.
Well, I have to, full disclosure, I grew up in Melrose too.
All right.
So I knew a lot about the hospital. I knew a lot about the history of the hospital and its reputation.
Yep.
It's really been at the forefront of so many great things,
right.
Whether it was laser surgery for the first time in the country, whether it was, same-day surgery, one of the first hospitals to implement that in there. I knew all of that background. So when I was recruited by the hospital to come and help with the department, I knew the hospital already.
Yeah.
So and once I got here, everything just felt so comfortable, felt like I was home.
Gelled.
And it just gelled really well.
That's great. So you've got that real deep personal connection for you. What about you, Dr. Wu? Why Melrose, right? Out of all the hospitals around.
I've been here about 27 years, going
so
on
right around the same time, you guys?
I grew up in Boston, and when
we both graduated from Tufts Medical School.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. That's awesome.
That's correct.
Classmates.
And then when I came out from the residency, I was looking for places to practice, and I know that I don't want to work in Boston, it's just so congested. And then I found Melrose. When I interviewed, I found Melrose-Wakefield Hospital very friendly. Actually, my sister was working on medical file at that point. She said, "Oh, you should come here." So I really interviewed it, and then I love it.
A little bit.
I love it. And then and I delivered my first child. Actually, I came back home pregnant. I delivered my first child in Melrose-Wakefield Hospital.
So you both have legacies, for your own personal families within the hospital too.
Right. So, and then subsequently, all my nieces and nephews, they all born in Melrose-Wakefield Hospital, and then we love it. And the nurses are very great, the nurses are very friendly, and the hospital is very family-oriented for young families.
Well, and you certainly, it's all the programs that you've had over the years, the physicians that have gone through, you guys have built that up, together as a legacy. Right. I think of, myself, I'm not from Melrose, like yourself, I'm newer to Melrose, about 5 years now. So there's obviously a lot of younger, new families moving into not only Melrose, but the surrounding communities. So for people watching that are starting their families, what do you say to them? How would they get themselves affiliated or introduced to all that the department has to offer? Why should they come see you? How can they do that?
Oh, they can either call the hospital, or you can go online. It's called MelroseWakefield.org.
Yep.
Or they can just call our office each individual, make an appointment.
Sure.
Or you can make appointments in the ZocDoc.org.
Yeah, ZocDoc is an online, and you can get an app called ZocDoc, Z-O-C-D-O-C.
I did not even know that. I'm going to write that down.
And then you can make appointments with us.
Right.
But MelroseWakefield.org is a great website.
Yep.
There's a lot of things about the maternity services on that site. One of the things we didn't mention too about our C-section rate, we have family-centered cesarean sections there, which is a great experience for moms that need to have a C-section, because we do everything we can to get that something that that the mom's experience can be as close to a natural delivery as possible, with a clear drape. She can see her baby, so you can read about all those things on the website, all the different services that we have.
That's great.
And the family center C-section is that the father usually missed the cutting the cord, so we let them cut the cord. They're excited.
Cut the cord right at the
great.
C-section.
That's great. So you've taken that to a whole new level. Well, believe it or not, that's all we have time for. I think we could talk a lot more about. I know about you guys certainly could, and I'm learning a lot. But If you are a newer family looking for care, certainly check out Melrose Wakefield Hospital. Dr. Wu and Dr. Wachowski and their staff are happy to meet with you. And as well, if you need other care, you know, we are so lucky to have this hospital, this institution right here in our community, taking care of our community. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Lauren Grimmick with the Melrose Chamber of Commerce.